Wow, from the studio that brought you the Avengers comes Dokter Strange, and let me tell you, it is strange indeed, because this is the occult right in your face. Look at the all-seeing eye they put on the poster. That's not it. They openly call him the master of black magic. What is the definition of black magic? Well, it says magic involving the supposed invocation of evil spirits for evil purposes, because there are people that think there's white magic and black magic and that only black magic is used for evil. Well, this is the good guy. He's the master of black magic. His name is Dokter Strange. So I wanted to look at what that word strange actually means, and by definition it says unusual or surprising in a way that is unsettling or hard to understand, not previously visited, seen, or encountered, unfamiliar, or alien. So the definition of this hero's name is strange, and that's exactly what happened with Lucifer when he was estranged. He was an alien in the presence of heaven, and he was cast out down to earth. He was surprising in an unsettling way and hard to understand. I just think that's an interesting connection there. But I'm not just making that connection for no reason. Look at the way this guy looks. This is the personification of the character of Satan. He's throwing up the horns, he's got the all-seeing eye on his chest, and it's called Strange Academy. This is teaching your children to be strange like Dokter Strange. This is not some conspiracy theory that when you put your index finger and your pinky up in the air that they call it the horns or the devil horns. Look, you can see it, and it's always associated with the occult. It's always associated with metal and all this death and inverted pentagrams and inverted crosses. All the black metal guys do it. They're not just doing it for no reason. Everything has meaning. Even a metal magazine called Metal Hammer said, "Horns up." Heavy metal was the fastest growing genre in 2018. They call it the horns. Anton LaVey will tell you straight from his mouth. He is the founder of the Church of Satan. Listen to his own words.
This is the sign of the horns, a curse sign, the two fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast, you know?
Now listen to Jack Black as he prays to Satan with all the celebrities at an MTV Music Awards.
Who wants to pray to the devil with me? Who's in with me? Come on, hey, let me see those horns. Let me see those horns. Metal, 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 metal. All right, now take the hand of the person next to you. Come on, Leighton. Dear Dark Lord Satan.
It seems like Dokter Strange can't not do a satanic symbol with his hands. Look at this is the symbol for 666, thrown up by many celebrities, including the Beatles. And here you will see Dokter Strange throwing that up with both his hands as he cast a spell in the Spider-Man movie.
Let's not change the parameters of this spell anymore while I'm casting.
Okay, I'm done.
That's not the only time you'll see him doing that 666 hand sign either. It's in all kinds of pictures. Now, what does this picture remind you of? All I can see is the satanic Baphomet statue. He's throwing up his two-finger salute. Now look at this poster that shows Dokter Strange and the Scarlet Witch half and half, making up this androgynous image of the Baphomet. This is in your face, blatant occult. You cannot hide this stuff. You cannot make this stuff up. This is right here, obvious. Every single time you see Dokter Strange, his hands are in some kind of satanic hand sign salute. It's over and over and over. If you were going to make a comic book out of the devil, it would be Dokter Strange with his pitchfork on his chest and the big red popped collar and the goatee. This is the devil. He is throwing up the hand signs, he's casting spells, and he is the estranged one, the alien cast out of heaven. Look, Dokter Strange even has a counterfeit sanctuary called the Sanctum Sanctorum, and that is the Holy of Holies in the Jewish temple. This is not something we're just making up. Look, it says right here, "Now the vast occult powers that is mine, coils focused in my third eye. I shall need that eye for the sinister search which lies ahead." He is on a sinister search. He is in the occult. Now I know what must be done, and once again the mystic eye shall help me do it. It must go forth on a silent search till I find the one I seek. He seeks help from his all-seeing third eye to go about his occultic business here. And you can't get more blatant than this when he's levitating over an inverted pentagram and he says, If I am to be damned by these decisions, then let it be using all the resources at the disposal of the Sorcerer Supreme, for I am not a pawn, I am the Doctor, as he summons every demon he possibly can. Here he is surrounded by tarot cards. This is sorcery, this is witchcraft, and they don't even hide it. The new movie is called The Multiverse of Madness, and I wanted to see what this multiverse was, so I looked it up on the fandom, and it says, the multiverse is the aggregate of all dimensions and parallel realities in existence. Although dimensions are just portions of reality within a universe, there are also parallel universes that coexist with one another. The multiverse is believed to be explained by the eternal inflation system. However, the exact nature of its existence is largely unknown to its inhabitants. This is the spirit realm. We do live in a multi-dimensional world, and we cannot see in the spirit dimension. But in this movie, they're going to try to open a portal to get into that spirit realm, or let something from that spirit realm enter into this realm. So I clicked on Multiversal War to see what the definition was, and there's a quote by He Who Remains that says, I ended the multiversal war. To me, the multiversal war is going to be ended by Jesus Christ. And so I looked at that and I clicked on He Who Remains to see who he is. And I see a figure wearing a robe with glowing rays behind his head. And in these aliases say ruler, conqueror, but then it says jerk, devil, dictator, liar, villain, very dangerous person, boogeyman. This is what we always see in these Hollywood movies, is how they take a God figure or a Christ-like character and they just flip it on its head and they make him the villain. He's the villain. And it says that his mission was to preserve the sacred timeline. To me, that is a prophecy that he's trying to preserve. And as I dug into Dokter Strange, I seen this other villain called Uatu, and he's the Watcher. Uatu was said to be the most powerful being in the galaxy. Who does that make you think of? The Watchers were said capable of making their very errant wishes a reality, like miracles. Watchers can die by simply choosing to, yet are still capable of coming back to life by choosing not to be dead anymore. Jesus laid down his life and he raised it back up. This is a personification of Jesus Christ as the villain. Check out Early Life. It says, billions of years ago, the technologically advanced extraterrestrial race known as the Watchers decided it was their duty to help the universe's less advanced races. In their first such experiment proposed by Icor, a delegation of 4 brought atomic energy knowledge to the planet. The Prosilicans accepted the gift but used it to develop nuclear weapons and engage in an auto-genocidal war. Ashamed of their actions, the Watchers vowed never again to interfere in the affairs of other races. Uatu tried to convince Icor, his father, that his deeds were noble despite the outcome, but the words fell on deaf ears. This is just like Christ giving us resources and us using them the wrong way, but they're painting him in a picture like he doesn't even care about what happens to the world. He's just turned his back completely on the world and he will not interfere at all. Now check out episode 4 of What If on Disney Plus, where Dokter Strange, doing his devil horn hand signs, does a spell and has an interaction with this Uatu character.
You can stop this, please. Fix this.
The same way you fixed Christine.
I was wrong.
You were warned.
I know, but the world shouldn't pay for my arrogance. I read about you, sensed your presence. You're a god. You can undo this.
I'm not a god, and neither are you.
This is Satan talking to God, and he's saying, don't hold the world accountable for my sins. Please think about humanity and save them. And this guy is just like, no, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm not a god, and neither are you. This is painting God as a villain and Lucifer as the hero and the savior of the world, just like we see over and over again.
Every night, I dream the same dream. Then, the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
You break the rules. Look out! Become a hero.
Wow, there's so much to address in this trailer. It is insane. He is Satan, remember, and he's saying he has the same dream every night. And there he is, standing in this gray, desolate city, looking up at a dilapidated building, standing on a bunch of human skulls and bones. Keep that in mind, because then the next scene shows big, towering doors that open up to a stairway to heaven. And this is a nightmare, he says. He has a dream that the world is being destroyed and he's seeing the gates of heaven open up before him. This is his reoccurring nightmare. He says he's willing to do whatever it takes to save the world. But what's going to happen? Jesus is going to return, and the righteous are going to be caught up to meet him in the air, and the wicked are going to be destroyed by the brightness of his coming. So the world is going to be completely desolate at that point, and Satan is going to be bound for 1,000 years, as talked about in Revelation 20, 1-3. It says, "Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal on him, so that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things, he must be released for a little while." Look at this phrase, the bottomless pit. This is a translation into English, remember. But when you look at the Greek, the Strong's says it is the word abusos. And that word abusos is a parallel to the Hebrew words tohu and bohu, which mean formless or emptiness. This is the word used in Genesis when it describes the earth as being formless and void. And when you look at Jeremiah 4:23-27, "I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form and void, and the heavens, and they had no light. I beheld the mountains, and lo, they trembled, and all the hills moved lightly. I beheld, and lo, there was no man, and all the birds of heaven were fled. I beheld, and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness, and all the cities thereof were broken down at the presence of the Lord, and by his fierce anger. For thus hath the Lord said, the whole land shall be desolate, yet will I not make a full end." When Christ returns, he is going to make the whole land desolate, but he will not make a full end of it, because he will restore the earth to Eden restored. But Satan is going to be bound to that earth desolate for 1,000 years until he is released for a short season. As you can see, they are looking to the heavens at some threat that they are ready to make war with. This is exactly what Revelation talks about, that Satan is going to round up all the kingdoms of the earth to fight against the coming of Christ. And the woman tells him, "You break the rules to become a hero."
You break the rules to become a hero.
Satan is the one that keeps pushing this agenda: break the rules and become a hero. How did this multiversal war start to begin with? In the trailer, you see something that looks an awful lot like CERN.
You opened the doorway between universes.
And outside of it, you see this statue that's kind of similar to this Shiva statue outside of the CERN building. In the trailer, they say that something dangerous could possibly come through this portal as he's being taken to judgment to be punished for his wicked actions. Punished for desecrating reality, and the trailer says, "Open your mind, change your reality." Well, the serpent said, "Open your eyes and change the truth for a lie."
We should tell him the truth.
When I researched to see if this really was a representation of CERN, I found a couple articles that said, for a long time there was a prologue in this movie that we're not doing. Maybe we'll do it in part 2, so maybe I shouldn't mention it, but it took place in CERN. So they even tell you that the movie was supposed to take place in CERN. And here Satan is walking through the portal from wherever he comes from into our reality. Remember, this is a multiversal war. They told us that. And I think it's interesting that while he's doing a magic spell in his sanctuary, off to the left you see a harp, the instrument of angels, and Lucifer is known to be the choir leader in heaven. I don't think that's a coincidence or a mistake. Here we see the Scarlet Witch meditating and levitating in a circle of candles, just like you see in the cult circles. Look, if you wouldn't let your kids watch The Craft Legacy, then don't let your kids watch Dokter Strange. This is the same thing, just repackaged in a way that is slipping under the radar. For some reason, people are not seeing the connection here. I think it's ironic that Dokter Strange teams up with the Scarlet Witch in this movie, because Dokter Strange is a representation of Satan, and the Scarlet Witch is not only a witch, but my mind's going straight to Revelation, that scarlet harlot that teams up and works with Satan himself. We are clearly living in the last days when stuff like this can be put out and nobody's even putting the pieces together, and they're taking their kids to go see it, and they're buying them the toys, and they're reading the books. Look, we need to have our minds in the Bible. That's the book we need to be in. We need to study the truth so that we will not fall for the counterfeit. We cannot do this ministry without you. We love you and we thank you. If you want to support this ministry, you can go to littlelightstudios.tv and click that donate button, or you can buy some merch from lightwear.shop. We love you and we thank you. God bless.